What's up? Yo, this kid's gonna get me boosted on fucking coffee today. Sorry for cursing, but there's literally no children that watch my show. I see the statistics on my analytics thing or whatever, but this kid literally is trying to fuck with me. He gave me espresso into dark roast and some other shot of some other thing that he said is like twice as strong as espresso. And he kept going, hey, you want it for free? As he's putting it in, I'm like, yeah. And an extra large coffee. Wow, I'm going to be off the fucking rails today. Why does this say south this way, but north was the other way? Oh no, I think they put the wrong signs up. Now I'm fooked. Fooked like the Mayweathers. Sorry. Alright, so let's dive into something before I get completely redonkulous. I want to talk about something that I found out that is, quote-unquote, been studied, researched, observed, understood under scientific terms. Through the CIA. Or not the CIA, sorry. Some organization. I don't remember which one. Don't quote me on this shit. But it's been scientifically provided tons of evidence towards consciousness, like the brain, how it works. And up until the last 10 years, there wasn't much research on this, but there has been of latter years. And I just saw a video of a guy totally explaining exactly what I've been telling you guys about the conscious, about the senses, and about things like that. And I want to dive into this shit. So, cue the intro. Come on, music, fireworks. Come on, the intro's pretty intense, guys. You guys like it? You digging it? Pretty intense. Ah, man, he actually made that shit real strong. Alright. So, think of this as proven, but think about it as an open mind. I don't want to tell you what to think. I only want to tell you how to think. I only want to spark the thoughts in your brain. I do not want to tell you empirical data as fact, right? I just want to spark your brain. I don't care if you believe me or not. I just want you to think. Your brain is in your head. And I've said this many times before, and I'm only repeating a lot of this stuff. But I just found out that they've done a tremendous amount of research in the UK, in the United States, in the last 10 years that have tremendous amount of evidence to point this out and prove exactly what I've said. Your brain is in your head. What's in there? Darkness. Right? So, the picture that you see on the outside is an interpretation of the brain through the lens of the eye. This sensory program, the sensory organ program connection is a guess. Feel me? What you see is your brain's best interpretation of what the lens of your eyes have accumulated information. So think of it like, and I've said this before, this analogy, because this is the best way I look at it. You have a CD player. You have the eye, which is going to see the information and read the information is the computer, the chips, the processor is going to, it's same thing with your brain, is going to read that information, understand that information the best it knows how. So the information that your eyes are getting is constantly there. Like, I'm picking up that I'm driving a truck through a lot of different types of sensory information. not just the eyes. Because if it was eyes alone, we wouldn't determine what the truck is, what this information is, what that is, what this is. My hand, the feeling in my hand, the sensory feeling in my hand is picking up information. My brain decodes that information. And when your brain decodes this, it is making its best guess to what that is and how to respond to it. If you see a big scary bear coming around and charging at you at 30 miles an hour, your brain is going to determine that information through the eyes, through a lot of different information that it's getting. Your brain doesn't see what's out there. It's your eyes that see it and pick up that information. Your brain decodes that information. Again, see the picture that you're seeing with your eyes right now? See that picture? It's in your brain. Where's your brain? In your skull. Your brain doesn't see what's out here. It's only picking up information and decoding it. That's why some people need glasses, because their brain has problems decoding what's around them. That's why a lot of times if you're going down a road and you're seeing a sign and you can't read it from a far distance, it's because your brain can't determine what that is. Your brain doesn't know how to process the words on the sign until you're closer, and then your brain can be like, oh, that's what that says. It's your brain decoding this information. So, what science has determined, another thing that I've said many times, but not in this phrase, which sort of enlightened me, but it wasn't something that I didn't think of before, but I never thought of it using this word. Every moment of your life, every moment, there's not one that passes by that's not. Every moment of your life is a hallucination. Every fucking moment of your life is a hallucination. What a hallucination is, and I never thought of it like this until the scientists were talking about it. When you're hallucinating, it's your brain determining and processing the information around it, and it portrays an hallucination. Now, the problem with what people determine as reality or objective fact, again, this is something I've talked about. The truth is subjective. But when people think that objective reality is universal, what the real implications of that is that we're all sharing a similar hallucination at the same time and saying that's real. That's what's going on. Pretty fucking intense, huh? Again, this is stuff that I've said in my videos before. Everything is subjective. Everything is portrayed from your brain. Your brain. Through the lens of the eye is where you get a lot of information. If you look at your eye, what do you see? Look at your eye. Go ahead, look in the mirror, look at your eye. What's it look like to you? It's exactly what astrologers, what scientists say is the universe. When they show you a picture of a galaxy or the universe, what do they show you? Something very similar to what it looks like in your eye. And you want to get really freaked out, look at your eye under a high definition microscope. You'll be fucking freaked out. Straight up. You're going to be freaked out. You're going to be really weirded out about what your eye looks like. Now, they always say eye is the gateway to the soul. How I look at it, and yes, I do believe in that, but the eye is the gateway to another universe. Why do I say this? Is because each conscious being represents a separate universe. Wow. Am I freaking you out yet? Should be. Each conscious being has different understandings of what's around them. And the universe in which they exist is separate from the universe of you or me. Everybody has a separate universe. Objective reality is just us agreeing on what's objective. But the truth is, we're all having subjective experiences, we're all having subjective information, and we're all having a separate brain to decode the world around us. Again, reality is subjective. If you are having a hallucination every moment, and you smoke a little bit of weed, and that hallucination changes, so you have a separate, or a different rather, state of consciousness, well, what does that tell you? That just tells you you're only in another state of consciousness. It's not that your reality has changed. It's only that let me rephrase it. Your reality has changed. It doesn't mean that the hallucinations of others have changed. Your hallucination, your understanding, and your ability to pick up information and decode information around you has changed. But what other people see has not. Your universe has changed. You take some shrooms, mushrooms. I don't remember what the official term of that was. I almost said it. You take some mushrooms, some magic mushrooms, which I've taken plenty of in the past, many moons ago. And I know the effect of that. And I know that in my universe, things have changed dramatically. But what I experienced and what I decoded, I don't believe was a flaw, despite what some scientists want to believe. And other scientists want to say that, well, there's a distinction between objective reality and your hallucination now, because there's a separate hallucination going on. Something that's a different hallucination. When you dream, you hallucinate. Right? No matter how vivid it feels, it's a hallucination. What you're seeing right now, trying to be down earth into reality, going through your 9-to-5 job, this is a hallucination. Wake up to this. That is a hallucination. It's only when a group or the majority decide that this is the hallucination that they desire, or this is the I almost said delusion. This is the hallucination that they want, and that is real, is when it becomes objective reality. 1,000 years ago, this 9-to-5 scenario didn't exist. This hallucination did not exist 1,000 years ago. 9-to-5 in a cubicle. Me driving a truck the way I am, the way that my mind is responding, my brain is responding, I am responding to the information around me when I'm driving the truck, knowing that I'm making money. I'm adding tons of dimensions to the hallucination. I hope I didn't lose you guys yet. This isn't very in-depth yet to me. My channel has been stuck on a 101 platform for a while now. If I wanted to show you the depths of where my mind will lead, well, explain to you, you'd probably be freaked out, because there's a lot of people that can't handle my little 101 objective fact or my 101 fact evidence-based information, so they're never going to understand my other stuff. That's why I'm trying to build up a platform on my 101 before we can go deeper into this. And plus, trust me, I have years left where I can continue with the 101 platform. Years of information. I want to talk about 15 different videos today. This is the one I chose for today. And I'm trying to make this so I'm not doing the same type of information daily. So understand that you represent a separate universe, a separate fact, a separate consciousness. And when you are separate in consciousness, a separate state of consciousness rather, you are going through a separate hallucination. A separate universe is discovered when you are born. Nothing can exist without consciousness. Nothing. You need something to determine what is for something to be. And it requires consciousness. It requires a sensory awareness. And each separate consciousness, no matter how separate it may seem, they're all, how do I put it? Okay, I'll do the hippie thing. They're all one. There's a oneness element. Remember how I made that assumption about space doesn't exist, everything's connected? Come on. What was the determination of the result? We're all connected. That they would not let, the universe does not let anything escape from the oneness. Watch my video, Space Does Not Exist. There's a oneness aspect to it. Same thing with consciousness. We can be separate in physical. Whoa. In physical, I apologize for that. We can be separate in consciousness, but we are unseparate altogether. This is why we try to determine what is real and what is not. The reason is because we have tried to come to a one-like mind, one consciousness. There's a oneness aspect here. Truth is, all the consciousness, if it was to be destroyed, because this is what it would take for what I'm going to get at, if everything was to be destroyed in terms of consciousness, everything else will cease to be. But it only takes one consciousness, one being, one entity of sensory awareness to make everything happen, to make everything be. Nothing can happen without being able to determine that something did happen. If a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? Well, no. No. If there is no consciousness on the scene to determine what happened, what took place, it did not happen. There is no way to prove that it happened without sensory awareness through consciousness. Right? And just like I've said in the past, that the truth is subjective. If I was to see a murder take place, two people being on a bridge, and the guy I think is waving a gun. I have a distant location. I'm looking up at the bridge. I see somebody with a gun, and I hear a pop, and the other person goes over the bridge, falls to his death. The other person, I stop seeing. But this is what I tell the police. The guy had a gun. I heard a pop. The other guy fell down. body went into the water, into the river, got dragged away, never found the body. Let's just say, hypothetically. Another person witnessed this, had a closer range, and when he heard the pop, it was only the bone hitting the fucking edge of the fucking, or whatever, this person's skeletal system hit the cement bridge, or metal bridge, let's say, it doesn't matter, and made a boom noise when the guy literally just pushed the other guy off the bridge. Right? That pop could have been represented either way. In the spur of the moment, your hallucination could not always pick up 100% of exactly what's going on, because your brain is not perfect. No one's is. It's only the best guess of what's going on around you. That is all. Your brain is trying to choose what is the best understanding of what took place through the sensory paradigm, your sensory system. And your body, everything about you, your brain picks up a lot more than just 5 senses. Actually, under science these days, they have determined that there's well over 20 senses. Your sense for appetite, your sense for a lot of things, right? It's not just your 5 senses. Now, you're hearing me say a lot of science has proved in this, and that in the last 10 years, science this, science that, like I'm 100% pro-science. I am not pro-science. Science, to me, is like a religion. It's me taking somebody else's fucking word for it. I'm not that guy. Just like you should not be taking my word for this. You should understand what I'm talking about, though. I think it's crucial. I think it's crucial to determine that objective fact is subjective. It's just the majority chooses to agree on their hallucination. If this is too deep for you, I can re-explain this. If this is too deep for you, let me know. And I'm not really good at explaining things, A. And B, I'm never going to get to my 102 things or my next level things. 202? I don't know what the next thing is. I never went to college. I never went to a university. I only know what 101 is. That's like the basic shit. This is basic shit for me. This is shit I've known for like 7 years. So this is nothing new for me. When I'm telling you this, is only to get you up to where I was on my first level of conscious awakening when I was 23. I'm going to be 31 in a month. So, yeah, it's going to be closer to 8 years since I've known this stuff. So, I want to continue going with this stuff to the next level. And the only way to accumulate the next level and doing it in a correct manner so everybody stays on board is to get my subscriber list at a much higher level. And those who are subscribed are not low IQ truckers. I'm sorry to say it like that, but it's true. If low IQ truckers are going to be the dominant factor of my subscribers, we're not going anywhere with my channel. I'm waiting for a large proportion? Yeah, not portion, I think it's proportion, to get to that level. To understand my 101 stuff before we get to the 202 stuff. I think that's how they call it in college. 101, then 202, or is it 102? I don't fucking know. I don't fucking care. It's irrelevant. But I have tons more information coming your way. I have tons more ideas. Again, this is the mind of OPEX. This is not a trucking channel. This is the mind of OPEX, not a trucking channel. Alright, hope you guys understand what I'm getting at here. This is rather important so we can get to the next level with this stuff. Alright, see ya. Tons of new stuff on the way. In fact, I got another video I'm going to say right after I pause this. I'm going to start a new one. So check that out next.